Listen to me about this hoodie. DIYOJ reached out to me about a month ago, so I customized this hoodie at DIYOJ.com. I'll put the link in the description. You can do the same thing. You can go there, you can find this exact hoodie, you can customize it, put SouthernLogic on it. If you want to go the extra mile, you can even put YouTube on the back of it like I did. But you can get any hoodie, any jersey, short sleeve, long sleeve. I'm sure they have something for you there. The link will be down in the description. Use code SouthernLogic at checkout. You'll get 10% off your order and you'll help out the channel a bunch. Let's jump into this video. There's a lot going on with Stephen Smith, Buster Murdaugh, Alex Murdaugh, and today we found out that the police, the South Carolina SLED agency, reached out to the family and told them that if they are exhuming his body in order to prove that it was a homicide, not worry, because they are now changing his cause of death from a hit and run to a homicide. My main thing from this is I understand that Alex Murdaugh was a lie and a cheat, and it's easy to believe that he would cover something like this up. But the thing that everybody just doesn't speak about here is he couldn't do it alone. All right, he's a powerful lawyer. He's got influence. He's a prosecutor, but he's not a pathologist. He can't determine somebody's cause of death. So somehow that had to be greased over to say, oh yeah, I know this looks this way, and all the officers on the scene say it looks this way, but it was really just a hit and run, and we're just going to write that. We're not going to do a full examination. Even though the officers on scene believe that there's something else going on, we're just going to call it. Somebody had to make that call, right? And then the pathologist had to write it down and make it official. So before they even exhume his body, for them to come out and say, oh, don't worry about that. We're on that. We're investigating the investigation then, right? It's not just did Buster Murdaugh or Alex Murdaugh or Randy Murdaugh have something to do with Stephen Smith's death. It's who all was in on brushing this teenager's death under the rug in order to save somebody's butt. Things jump out at me, and I wish I was there to ask this person these questions. Like the police that were on the scene. Who was in charge of the investigation? Who decided that it was just a simple hit and run, even though all signs pointed to something else? I was a military police officer, but I wasn't a police officer. I didn't investigate any homicides, right? So if a plain Jane person like me can look at that and say, yeah, this definitely doesn't just look like a hit and run. I mean, when his shoes are still on, when his clothes are not torn, when the marks on his arm and stuff don't look like just road rash where you would get slung across the road. When you find like thin blue paint chips on his back that doesn't match to any paint color on any car. There's a lot of signs that they knew about and still ruled it a simple hit and run. Let's do this and we'll comment some more. That way everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
The mysterious death of 19-year-old Stephen Smith. So Smith was found dead on Hampton County, South Carolina road back in 2015. And his death was initially ruled as a hit and run. There was no vehicle debris, no skid marks on the roadway, or any injuries consistent with him being actually hit by a vehicle. Many people were led to believe that something more nefarious happened to young Stephen Smith that day.
So there's no debris, there's no skid marks, there's nothing to make you feel like it's a hit and run. But, oh yeah, we're just going to call it a hit and run, right? I mean, everybody is hung up on, is it Buster Murdaugh? Was it Buster Murdaugh? Did he do it? Did Alex maybe do it? Did Maggie maybe do it because they found out about some relationship with Buster? Everybody's on that kick, but the real problem is that Alex was going through life that he's admitted to, that this is not in question, that he's been going through life for the last 10, 20 years, robbing, lying, cheating, stealing. He's found guilty of murder. So You can add killing into that too. And nobody knew about it. All his rich, powerful friends, none of them had any clue. None of them had any idea. None of them were involved at all. All those friends in high places, all those sheriffs and police chiefs that he's friends with, that he's buddies with, that let him put lights in his car, that let him just roll up on crime scenes and enter the tape when the family of the victim couldn't come in. All those people, they just get a pass, right? Because they had no idea. They had no idea that anything crazy was going on. They had no idea that this man was living a life well beyond his means. None of them, nobody, had any idea that he had this huge pill addiction. $1,800 worth of pills a day. How many people in a small town would it take to fulfill that addiction? Right? I mean, we know that he didn't really take 60 a day, but if we're going with that, if that's what he's saying, if that's what we're doing, how did nobody know? How did nobody, where was he getting them? What was going on? Right? He had friends in the area. He had friends in places of power, and he was calling in those favors. The people doing those favors, they're just as much at guilt as Alex is. I'm not saying that Alex had anything to do with Stephen's death, even though it looks like it. Somebody from the Murdaugh family, where the Murdaughs were, invested into making sure everything was good. Where you've got Buster's uncle calling, offering to represent the family. You've got Alex Murdaugh and Randy Murdaugh on the scene of the accident, and then you got them later denying that they offered to represent the family, denying that they were ever at the crime scene. So, I mean, that's pretty sticky, right? But as soon as the docuseries come out on Netflix and HBO, now police are worried about this again, right? Now that the family is exhuming Stephen's body, now SLED is calling to say, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it. But the family's not stupid. The family's still going to run their own parallel investigation, because it wasn't like the police weren't in charge the first time, right? So why would you just, hey, don't worry about it. Why would you trust the police the second time? Why? If they covered it up the first time, if they said that this was a simple hit and run, but before you even exhume the body, they're calling you back to say, hey, no, we're on to this already, and this definitely wasn't just a simple hit and run. What the hell? Let me know what you guys think about this stuff down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more, hit that notification bell so you'll get notified anytime I post. Have a great day. We'll see you later.